All right guys, welcome back to another Hit with me. Today we're really gonna be focused on bat pass, so we're gonna really dive into that. We're gonna be using a couple different tools. So what we're gonna actually use, today I'm gonna be using Sabri, the flat bat. Again, different tool. There's a couple different ones you guys can use with this. If you guys don't have a flat bat, it's okay, but definitely something that I would invest in. Again, it's definitely a useful tool. We're also going to be utilizing a one-handed bat. We'll use Marucci's today. And then also you'll have your normal bat as well. So that's definitely something that we'll want to, again, grab those tools before we start today. So again, as we start to go through these things, you can really start to just jump through each tool because we might blend back and forth. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna do majority of today, actually from side toss. You know, you guys, I usually start with T, but we're actually gonna start with side toss here. And actually we're gonna start with first our one-handed bat. And we do one-handed stuff around here a little bit different than a lot of guys. So it's just something important, like as we go through our stuff, is just being mindful of what we're trying to get out of it. So we're gonna do bottom hand here. With this one, what we're gonna really work on is not getting our shoulder being pulled and our barrel being dragged and slicing everything. Again, we're gonna really focus on, like you hear Bregman talk about, like keeping his shoulders, like if he has flashlights on his shoulders and his hips and his feet, that they would stay on the wall in front of him the whole time while he's hitting. So again, it would more look like this. So with us right now, again, we're gonna work on that resistance and learning how to create speed with just my front arm, again, without my trunk over rotating, my upper body over rotating. And we'll just do this straight from side toss. Okay. One of the things too, a lot of times right now, I can do it without doing these, but sometimes if you have like a little kid where he goes to hit and immediately he wants to pull a shoulder, an assistance you can also give him is to take his right hand and put it behind his butt. It's not a bad idea, or even to the bend behind the arm. Shout out to our girl, Paige Halstead over there. She actually gave me the one behind the arm, behind the body. It's not a bad thing. So it'll kind of look like this. Right, so not a bad option as well. The hand behind the arm to give some more stability. Again, if really unstable this way, kind of stable, hand behind the butt. And then the last one, again, if you can do it obviously with just the arms staying by your side, it's gonna be less stability, but you can get your work in. Certain guys could be really good. Oh, caught that count on that one, Code. Oh, did it again. Yep, did it again. Here we are. Somebody's got to make an adjustment around here. Not bad. Okay, so so now we're going to move on to top hand. So top hand with this work, again, some different ones you can do. You can grab the pocket. You can just put your arm across your body, or again, have nothing there as well. This one, actually grabbing the pocket or grabbing the back hip. Sometimes you grab the pocket, the pants can just move. But yeah, you could also just grab the back hip. That also helps the front shoulder not being pulling out, and working on your barrel, working across your body, and working without the shoulder pulling out and away that side. So we'll do a couple like this. Oh, not bad. Good. So one thing with the top hand, I think it's also pretty important, is a lot of times when we're doing top hand, we're not necessarily, I'm not looking for like higher launch angles, or I'm not looking to like hit the ball in the air as much. It's more of a down, and you'll see some of the things with Bonds like back in the day. A lot of times when he did a lot of his top hand work, he would hit things down onto the ground. And it's more about, like, again, top hand's very important also for like barrel entry. And where, again, at certain points in the swing, also your bottom hand will have a lot more dominance than your top hand early in your swing. Especially, again, that's why you'll see a lot of guys when they're hitting balls that are more up in the zone. Again, you'll see them, or a guy with high spin rate, he'll really start doing these like big top hand feels, or that tomahawk feel. It can be really important for how I'm controlling my barrel and how I'm losing my barrel kind of behind me. So a lot of times when we're doing these, and don't get me wrong, there is times where you can hit balls and you can really work on, sometimes I'll even do it from front toss, where I'll just hit the ball and stop and then just look at angle. Definitely can be a possibility too. But In any case, for us, a lot of times it's not necessarily about trying to hit a double here with one hand. A lot of times I'm hitting one hoppers, things like that in the cage, obviously with more with just my top hand. Okay, back to work. Not bad. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go into two-hand. So short bat, two-hand. Also too, if you guys don't have, should have said this earlier, right? If you guys don't have one of these short bats, you can, one, use a young kid's bat. I do like these Marucci's. This isn't a free bat, right? I pay for this guy, okay? So no shameless plug here. Is just these Marucci's are pretty hard wood. You can actually take some real swings with them and get some work in with them. So I do like these Marucci's, but we're gonna, again, you could use a smaller kid's bat. A lot of times you'll just dent them if you start doing two-hand work with them. And also too, you can grab your own bat and choke up a lot. Again, you just have some limitations with those. So again, if you don't have those tools, definitely I would invest in one. There is some like cheaper wood bat options that you can do. Good. So the short bats can also be really good for not only working on, there's a lot of things that affect bat path, right? So a lot of guys, they think that like, okay, we're gonna just work on bat path today. Well, how I move my body and how I create force and all that stuff is going to determine how my bat's moving through the zone and what actually my bat path looks like. A lot of guys think that, again, I'm just purely gonna work on my bat path. Well, it's like, yeah, there's pieces of that. There's certain things that we can definitely emphasize within bat path that can help my body move different ways, especially when queuing up my arms, or like a barrel above hand move, or whatever that is. Maybe vertical bat angle, you're working on that. Like I had a pro guy the other day. He asked me, he's like, for vertical bat angle, like, do you focus on that? For us personally, like, it's definitely an indicator that we can look at when we're looking at blasts and we're doing our evaluations. But that's really determined. With like anytime you isolate a metric, it's not necessarily the greatest again, tool to actually see if guys getting better or not. You can manipulate any one metric if you're just looking at one. It usually has more to do with posture. And so the reason I bring that up is, again, with short bat, again, it's going to force you to be in more posture to hit balls higher in the air. And also too, again, obviously you can only reach so far, where I'm going to have to get in the posture to hit balls that are more down, down and away, or things like that too. So a lot of times we'll go down and away with two hand. Also, something to notate, happens a lot more. Sometimes we'll say, like, when a ball's lower in the zone, like a guy going to get the ball with his legs, be aware of what is a knee drive and what is the knee is going to actually go in a little bit earlier when I'm hitting a ball lower in the zone and down in the zone this way. Almost think of it like pitching mechanics, right? Like the further I get out, you'll see the knee coming like this. But again, it doesn't mean that the knee is the driver still. The hips are just rotating. You're at more closer to an in range. The knee's going to come in a little bit sooner just because of pitch location. Oh, that one wasn't a good one. Got around her a little bit, not bad though. Okay, so we're gonna move on from the short bat, move on to our flat bat here. Again, a couple different ways you can use these. Guys actually turn their barrel very different of like where they actually make contact with the ball. It is something to be mindful of. Again, if you haven't hit with wood bats yet and you don't know, kind of like your general rule is like when you go to the home plate, you want the label to be facing you. But when you come up to your shoulder, a lot of times we're playing around with these little different hand setups and where we want the flat side from. So for a lot of guys though, in general, we tell them to go at like a 45, we should be able to like almost hit ourselves in the neck. Some guys go straight flat out away from them, and they feel like as they turn and they slot, like, okay, the flat side should be there. I think that puts the top hand in more of like a weaker position and more of like a drag position. So a lot of times we do it more like a 45, where as guys come in, they actually have to, again, start to keep their, again, that top hand and roll through the middle part of the field. And it keeps them shorter in the back. So it's gonna be a little bit of overemphasis here, but again, we'll do that. Another thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna get slightly narrow with my feet. Same thing, I'm gonna think about like no rotation here, and really work on just being braced. Not only braced, but also to keeping everything towards the wall. Really don't want to have a whole bunch of rotation here. You'll see guys like Hosmer and some of those guys that have done some drills that I've posted on social media before, kind of this drill, but we'll do this with the flat bat. And again, it's gonna be a little bit harder for me to be as stable here because I'm more standing straight up, harder for me to stop, but again, it's a good way to train it in isolation before we move forward. Ooh. Think about that one. Not bad, huh? Gooder? Gooder. Trying to really stop there. Okay, now we're just gonna get a little wider. Go to our launch stance. Right, so remembering here, this is where I would stride out to and launch from. Important that, again, obviously we have the option here with our flat bat, and that's what makes these bats so good, is we can do real swings or real baseballs. So there's some flat bats out there where, again, you could have to hit like Nerf balls, things like that. You can hit real baseballs with these. Kind of a game changer when you're actually blending things back into the swing. Oh, that's me, Code. Okay, now we're going to go back to regular bat here for a couple. Same thing from launch. Not bad there. Okay, so we're gonna go through a very similar routine, a little bit further along here from front toss here in a second, and again we'll blend up to a full swing. But we're just gonna go back to we're gonna go to front toss, and then we'll mix again, and then we'll go with the flat bat. So we'll get set up. See you guys here in a sec. All right, I lied to you guys. I like to keep you on your toes. We're gonna go short bat first. Again, we'll go narrow stance. And again, the same rules, kind of apply the same things. I'll go arm behind my back for a couple. Ooh. Bad. Oh, tough pitch. Then go with top hand. Ooh. Cool. Okay, so again, top hand, bottom hand. Now we're gonna go to two hand for a couple. Again, slightly narrow stance. We'll just get a couple here and move on. Cody did the thing where ball was halfway here and I disappeared my eyesight for a second. Too fast. Oops. Okay. Flat bat. Same setup. We will go first from narrow stance. Slightly narrow, thinking keep everything square, over exaggerate, trying to stay this way. Barrel flat out there. Take it. Oops. We should start a shirt, huh? We need a shirt that says oops. 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 Oopsies. Happen again, Code. Disappeared. I think I know what it is. I think I know what it is. You kind of hide it behind your hip for a second. Yeah, I was paying attention that time and I was like, disappeared behind your hip and then came back around. I'm like, oh, maybe that's what it is. Take it. Cool. Yeah, really like this bat. The first kind of longer session that I've had with it. Definitely, again, you're getting some good pop of it. Again, it has some weight on her. Definitely different than a lot of flat bats I've used. Oh, got in there. Well, I called out your arm swing, huh? No, it's all good. Do your thing. Okay, so now we'll go to normal bat here. Same thing. We'll stay narrow here for a second. Really just making an emphasis on the upper body here and some resisting. Ooh. Cody, if I keep staying on top of that rise ball, it just means my pass can be short. I see you trying to keep me short. That's what it is, man. Oops. Oh, that was me. Felt the front hip go, first move. Then he ran away from me. Oh, that was no posture. Reached for it. Not bad. Cool. Okay, so now we'll go from launch with let's do launch with a step back here. Launch with a slight step back. Mix that in before we go into full forward move here. Stretching everything from that front knee like we talked about, like the seat belt going across our body. So again, if I attach the seat belt down here, I'd have one coming up across my hip this way and another one coming up across my body that way. Obviously, normally your seat belt would be here. Think about it being attached down here. Sometimes that could help as a feel for guys to stretch, get properly stretched before they swing. Pull the slack out. Oh, that was me. Push from the backside there. Not bad. Okay. So now we'll go into full swings here. Take a couple full swings from just front toss here, and then we will wrap her up for the day. And we'll keep progressing. Next week we'll probably add in some BP. This week we're gonna, again, just finish with some front toss, full swing here. As I was taking that one, Code, I remembered, man, the last drill I was supposed to step back, didn't do it. Again, not bad. I'm sure my foot kicked a little bit on some, but again, over exaggerating the step back with how I'm creating torque. That can really help me going from launch with the step back, can really help me get away from, especially when I start getting pushy, driving with my knee a little bit more. That step back can really start to get me out of doing that if I'm having a bad day. Again, if I would have missed hit a couple more, like, you know, this way or something like that, could be a possible solution for one of your guys if they're going from launch and immediately driving their knee in, or, you know, keep, as they go to fire, their first move is that hip opening up. So something to think about on the last drill. Tough pitch, better hitter, huh, Code? Hey, pitcher, could you throw it down the middle? I just have to say that to some of the guys in the game. That was my favorite, or I'd ask the umpire. I'd give the umpire 20 bucks. Say, hey man, call this a hit no matter where I get it. I'm safe. Too fast, too furious. Oh, just missed her right there, Code. Oh, got me. Little back pull, need to land some better stretch. Little this. I need more of that, you know? Not bad. A little exaggeration there. Oh, adjustment. You adjust every once in a while, Code. That's how it works. If I would adjust a little quicker, probably could have played a little longer, huh? Yeah. I'll come back when I'm like 45. All right. So again, we'll do 2 more from here. Same thing, kind of keeping all those concepts in. Some of the adjustments I've made throughout this round is I was feeling myself kind of more in this position. Again, shoulder was pulled, more drag in my barrel, where I wanted to be more like this position. So heel back on the ground, getting my barrel back out front, shoulder not pulled, my barrel coming with the middle part of my body, get me some little bit of some better angles there. Just missed there. Deep fly out. Oh, I tried to stop real hard right there. I did stop though. I did stop. Getting old, Code. I'm not like these young bucks. There's a lot of swings in here. All right, back in action. Back in action. Get that slack out when I'm going into my landing. Oh, might have got her. Okay. Well, all right, guys. So, big things here. Again, more of a focus on some bat pass stuff today. A little quick routine that you guys can take through with either your players if you're a coach, or you as a player. Routine to kind of give you working some bat pass stuff, flat bat, short bat, each hand, both hands, blending it in from launch, and progressing it from side toss to front toss, and getting it back into your normal swing. Some variations, some things we could do in between there. If there's guys that are struggling with one of those in particular, all kind of things that we want to keep in mind. But in the meantime, we'll see you guys next week when we hit together.